Welcome to Life, Law, and Lattes, the podcast where real-life conversations meet legal insight on marriage, divorce, custody, and caregiving. Your host, attorney Nadia Gilkes, is here to help you understand the law and how it connects to everyday life. You'll hear legal tips and stories, but every situation is unique, so please speak with a local attorney for advice on your specific legal matter. Now, let's get into today's conversation.
Hello and welcome to Life, Law, and Lattes. It's your host, Nadia Gilkes, and I am here with another review of a movie. So I'm coming to you a little bit aggravated, I must say, because I kept hearing about the latest Netflix craze and everything in my spirit said, don't do it. Don't fall down the rabbit hole. Don't do it. But people on Facebook were talking about it. People were telling me, oh, Nadia, you gotta watch it. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm gonna like this one, but I don't like people out there talking about stuff that I don't know what they're really talking about. So I fell down the rabbit hole. And I just finished watching A Toxic Love Story. Y'all are making it very hard for me to date. You are and you aren't. But generally speaking, you're making it very hard for me to date. This was an insane story. So right now it's number 2 on Netflix. It came out, I believe, Monday or Tuesday this week. So within a week, it shot up the charts, or maybe it was number 1 and now it fell to number 2. And it's family law and property law and criminal law all wrapped into one, because that's often how it happens. Like a lot of times when there's a crime, there's some kind of family element or domestic relations element entwined in there somewhere. So this is just stream of consciousness, lingering notes from literally just turning it off about 5 minutes ago. And I'm just like, oh, let me do an episode on this. I can't even give you an overview of what happened. It's insane. And when it logically should have come to a conclusion, somebody said, I think I need to investigate a little deeper. And then it really goes down a psychopathic rabbit hole. So you need to watch it for yourself if you want all the ins and outs of what happened, because I guess they market it as a love triangle story, but it really was just about a guy who loved himself a lot. And that's not completely accurate, but that's about the best I could do, because I can't even untangle all the crazy. They didn't even really untangle all the crazy, because we don't have a true interview from one of the main characters, one of the 3. We don't really have a true interview from the guy in the middle of the triangle either. So you just have a lot of speculation and research and crazy on top of crazy. So you watch it for yourself. And I'm going to talk about the issues that I see. And when you watch it and then come back to this podcast episode, you can put it all together and say, okay, that's what she's talking about. Because I can't untangle that. It's a very old story. Craigslist is hot and happening in this storyline. So I think it's like 10 years ago, but the person that was at the center of it just got sentenced like 3 or 4 years ago. So it's taken a long time to really come to justice. And it's basically like guy dated girl, guy was psycho to girl had to make a great escape. Guy started dating another girl. Him and that girl got together to try to put first girlfriend behind bars, because he was just so mad that first girl got away. And there's a best friend in the wings, blinded by her love for the guy, that she can't think straight. And she better pray he never gets out of prison, because the minute she steps across the line with him, she's probably going to be a goner, blinded by her love. That's the best I can do for you as far as the backdrop. So, and I'm so aggravated because I just spent an hour and 40 minutes in this crazy nutcase rabbit hole. But what I was thinking about when I was watching this is these people, or at least the first girlfriend, Michelle, really needed my book. She really needed Before Forever. And so I walked away with most of the life lessons, messages, confirmations from her part of the storyline, because she was this wonderful, gentle, wholesome young woman when she met Ian. I hate that his name was Ian. Ian is one of my favorite names for a boy. I always said if I had a son, I would name him Ian Seth Jacob. And I'm just like, how are you destroying my son's name? Now, the son never happened, but still, how are you destroying my son's name? And there's an Ian in my first book, by the way, because I never had kids. So I'm like, this book is my baby. Ian's in the book. So his name was Ian. Her name was Michelle. So they start dating, and she was wholesome. She was like, I never even took a drink before I was 21. I went to work and school trying to better my life, very close to her family, her parents, nice upbringing, what have you. And so she meets this guy who also seems charming and wholesome. He works for law department, the law something. I can't even remember. He's in law enforcement, U.S. Marshals or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. But he's in law enforcement, and I don't trust law enforcement. I don't see myself ever dating a cop or anyone in law enforcement, and this is partially why. So he's puts on this show of being super wholesome, but over time, he starts to kind of stray from the script. So he tells her kind of early in the relationship, I really want to watch you have sex with someone else. That's a fantasy of mine. Now, in my book, I go over a lot of questions on intimacy and what's your fantasies, and do you have any fantasies that have not been lived yet, and yada, yada, yada. This is kind of the reason why, because some things you really can't compromise on. So she's not comfortable with this at all. So she's like, no, no, no for a long time. But he doesn't just ask once, get the no, and keep it moving. He ups the ante. He keeps asking, he's hounding her. Then he's going on websites and finding profiles of people that he would like her to sleep with. And she's very adamant, like, no, this is not a thing that I do. Finally, she decides, well, if I do it once, maybe that'll scratch his itch, and I'm going to do it one time, and I don't want to ever hear about it again. That's what she tells him. Now, grandmamas back in the day would normally tell you what you have to do to get a man is what you're going to have to do to keep a man, right? And things like this aren't really a one and done. And things like this aren't really something that you compromise on. And that's why I talk so much all the time about what are your non-negotiables. And you need to know yourself. You need to know what they are. You need to try hard not to stray from them. I mean, if something makes you wildly uncomfortable or is raising a red flag for you, you really need to pay attention. So she crosses this line and she does this thinking, if I do it one time, that'd be enough. Of course it wasn't. And not only was it not enough, then he starts trying to control her in other ways. And everything about everything he did to her screamed he just wanted to control her, and she kind of missed it. Maybe because she was so wholesome and she didn't have a lot of dating experiences or whatever. But he started telling her how to dress. He put cameras inside the home so he could watch her every move. He, I guess, had her devices monitored because he always knew where she was, and it got to the point where she can only go to home, school, work. If she went anywhere outside that triangle, he was calling her saying, "Where are you and why are you there?" All this other crazy stuff that he started doing to her, to the point where she ultimately had to escape him. Like, one day the best friend was over. She knew that he wouldn't act a fool with the best friend there. So she was just like, "Oh, I'm going out for a drive." Got in her car, drove to her parents' house and never came back. She had to escape him. I am very cautious about men that have to be escaped. So this is where asking how past relationships ended is very important. Are you still in communication with an ex? Did you have any communication issues with your ex? Like, all these questions that are also in my book. This is kind of why. And so she escaped him, but her life became a living nightmare for quite a while, because he links up with this new girl ultimately, and he's still so pissed off at the one that got away that some kind of way him and Angela, the new girl, get in cahoots and start terrorizing her. We don't really know all of Angela's motivations, and we don't really know all of her lies because she is never interviewed independently for this documentary. There's bits and pieces of other people's experiences of her, but I don't remember a sit down with her after the fact. So she pled guilty to something and she did some time in prison. But it took a really long time for someone to look back and say, something's still not right here. I think we need to look deeper into this case again. Michelle did do some time in prison. She had a mental breakdown. Stuff was weird. She did some time in jail, 88 days, I think, because they did effectively set her up for a time being, but then that storyline crumbled. She got out of jail, and then some investigator came through, looked a little bit deeper, and realized that Ian is the problem, that he misused his role in the Justice Department as a U.S. Marshal or whatever it is he really did. And they start untangling all the hidden files in his computer and you thought he deleted files in his computer, and really piecing together the storyline to realize that he was the villain all along. He's the key piece of the story. He was the one that was manufacturing all this evidence. He really just wanted Michelle to suffer. And in all of this, I guess backtracking, before Michelle left, Michelle and Ian actually had gotten engaged. Why would you move forward in a relationship that has already pushed you past your comfortable limits? They had gotten engaged and they had purchased a condo together. People are going to do what they want to do. There are cohabitation agreements out there for you that a lot of people don't take advantage of. There are prenuptial agreements out there for you that a lot of people don't take advantage of. But I personally, and again, you can do what you want to do, I am personally against entangling myself to someone I'm not married to. Because once you're married and you're signed on the dotted line and the government has you tied together in their records, people can lie, people can scheme, but you're already tied together. And if you're in a community property state, debts are both of yours, assets are both of yours. It is what it is. So, after you're married, do whatever you want to do. But before you are married and you don't have a solid agreement in place and you don't really have a solid title, there's a lot of men out there who say, "I'm single until I'm married." They can be telling you whatever, but what they really believe in the core of their being is that I'm single until I'm married. And as long as I'm single, I can do whatever I want to do. So I'm not tying myself to anybody financially in that way if there's no ring on my finger and a piece of paper signed with the government that we are together and we are one. She bought a condo with the guy. And so the whole tormenting her was to kind of get her out the picture, get her in prison so he can sell the condo from under her and get his profits, and her pretty much her whole life savings ended up gone because he was able to do that. When she was in jail for those 88 days, he was able to sell the condo from under her, and she never got her down payment back. She had no more savings left. They just they just really pulled the wool over her eyes and used and abused her and spit her out. Ultimately, she was able to sue the Anaheim Police Department for wrongful arrest or not investigating deeply enough or what have you, and she did get a settlement from them. So in the end, things did work out for her, but it took a minute. And it could have been avoided if you're not signing on the dotted line and buying property with people you're not related to or committed to legally. I just wouldn't do it. There's so many instances where it goes wrong. There's a lot of instances where it goes right. I'll give you that. There is a lot of instances where it goes perfectly okay. But there's a lot of schemers and scammers and evil people out there who know how to pull one up on you and pull the wool over your head. And a lot of people out there are on the losing end in a big way. So I would just be hesitant to buy a property with someone I'm not married to, or co-sign on a big loan for someone I'm not married to, student loan, car loan, whatever loan. No, no, just no. And I don't care if it's we're closing today and getting married tomorrow. Push that closing date back until after the wedding, after the license has been mailed in, signed by your clergy, and you've gotten the actual license back. Push the date back. Make sure that you on paper are absolutely married and already tied to this person before you start entangling all your money. That's just my rule of thumb. You don't have to subscribe to it, but that's just what I say. So anyway, go down the rabbit hole of crazy. Everybody's talking about it. Many of you may have already seen it, but those are my takeaway. Like, go through my book, even if you're single. And this isn't a shameless plug for my book. This is exactly why I wrote the book. Even if you're single, go through the book before forever. Answer the questions for yourself. Really dive into who you are and what you need to thrive in a relationship and what your non-negotiables are, so that when you meet that special someone and they go way off your comfortable script, then you're like, and there's some things in life that you can't compromise on. If one person wants kids and the other one doesn't, you can't have half a kid. A decision is going to have to be made. Whose voice is going to ring the loudest? Who, is like, what is going to happen with that? If one person has a fantasy of threesomes, or there was a lot of RAPE culture in this movie, that was a fantasy of some people. If that's not your thing, you can't compromise on that. Either you're giving in and some random person's coming off of Craigslist to have a sexual fantasy with you tonight, or they're not. There's no either or halfway through it. And sadly, she gave into his fantasy of seeing somebody else sleep with her. And then it led down to this whole, losing her life savings, basically. When I'm just like, I don't understand how you didn't walk away when he first brought it up. Or even if you didn't walk away when he first brought it up, a conversation to be had. And when he kept bringing it up and she's like, well, that's not going to work for me, that should have been the end of it. And there's no telling that he wouldn't have been a crazy stalker, whatever, after the fact, but you wouldn't have been engaged to him. You wouldn't have purchased a property with him. You wouldn't have had this whole year or two of being terrorized by him, mental breakdown, all the other things. I don't know that the lawsuit that she eventually won against the police department even makes it worth it. So know who you are. Know what your non-negotiables are. Stay true to that. And when you start feeling like someone is controlling you and it's getting to a dangerous level, you need to create a safety plan and get out. Don't keep thinking, well, if I give into this one thing, it'll be better, this calm down, and we'll be on a smoother road. No, you'll be on a more controlled road because they're just going to keep seeing what they can get away with. And it's really sad because a lot of people who have this manipulative type of personality, who are these psychopaths or sociopaths, it's like they know who they can target. It's like they know who is the soft, gentle person. I can get away with manipulating this person. And they just get their claws into people. And that's what's always scared me about some people, is that it seems like the psychopaths are so good at reading people. And people who are just going out here with a pure, open, genuine heart are often at the losing end. That's why I keep to myself. That's why I keep to myself. I'm like, God, please keep that kind of person away from me, because I couldn't. I can't feel uncomfortable in my own home. That's my non-negotiable. The minute I feel uncomfortable in my own home, if you make me feel like I'm at war, I'm at war. And I'm going to react accordingly. That lady took a lot. The minute you come to me talking about, I want to see you sleep with somebody else, we're done. No. That's not even what I'm here for. Because when I get a husband, I want it to be me and my husband, and we're together, and we don't have to worry about diseases and all these other things out there and cheating and all that. We're just together. We're in it to win it, and that's it. You talk about you want somebody else. Oh, I'm not good enough. Let me let you go ahead and find who you're looking for, because this is not going to work for me, and I'm out. I'm, I'm not about to buy a house with you. I'm not going any further because I already don't trust people like that. So, no. So that's this week's crazy. Toxic Love Story on Netflix. It's trending number 2 because we love a train wreck. And they gave a doozy of one this week. So tap into that. Wherever you're listening, I would love to have you comment on what your experience of this documentary was, or if you've ever had a real life experience of this, or if you kind of felt like your relationship was going off the train tracks and you made it out. What was the deciding factor, or what was that being pushed too far that led you to say, this is too much, not going to work for me, I'm out? I would love to hear those things. I think other people need to hear those things. I do think the beauty in sharing stories like this is for other people. If they see themselves, they're like, holy crap, I might be heading down the same road. I might need to get out way sooner than she did. And if that happens for anyone, I think that's a beautiful thing, because you just got to take care of yourself. You have to be mindful that not everybody is on the up and up. And sadly, people can carry on a facade for a very long time. You have to give time. That's why, and I know there's people out there who meet the love of their life and get married the next month and it works and they're married for 40 years. More power to you. But for the most of us, my godmother says all the time, you better see somebody through all the seasons, at least a year. Yeah, people can only uphold the crazy for so long, but they certainly can uphold crazy. They can push crazy back for a few months and pull the wool over your eyes. But a year or two, a little harder to keep that up for that long of a time. And you should be looking for the red flags and asking the questions and having the conversations. And if there's inconsistencies, calling that out, or at least making a note of it and seeing, is this really the person I want to spend my life with? Are they really on the up and up? Can I depend on what they say? Do they have integrity? Are they trustworthy? You have to give time. At this point, I don't even know how I feel about moving in with somebody before marriage. Like, I might do it, but trust and believe I got a savings account to the side. You're never gonna have me hold up. Like, no. If there comes a time I need to just up and leave, I'm upping and I'm leaving. And I don't care what I have to leave behind. I can't be in these situations where I'm uncomfortable in my own home. Mm, that was a lot. That was a lot. I need to go watch a Disney movie. No, I can't even watch Disney because the guy was addicted to Disney. Oh my gosh. I need to go watch a comedy show or something and just calm down and lay down. Because it was just a lot. A lot. But that is this week's episode, Lifelong Lattes. I always thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being there. Please look for information for my book launch coming soon. I tentatively have the date August 8th set aside. I'm just waiting to sign my contract on the venue. But I am very excited to finally be celebrating the launch of Before Forever, Essential Conversations for Couples Designing a Life Together. But you don't have to wait for my launch. You can get your copy now. It's on Barnes & Noble. It's on Amazon. And if you are looking to walk down the aisle or commit with someone, or you know somebody who's about to get married, this book is perfect for you or your loved one. It makes a great gift. And having these conversations on the front end keeps you from being a Netflix documentary on the back end. That's literally why I wrote it. I don't want to be talking about you a couple months from now because Netflix is like, and we got another one for you. I don't want that to be you. I don't. So watch the movie. Take the nuggets of wisdom, learn from somebody else's mistakes. That's perfectly okay to do in life. And I wish you a happier, healthier relationship with the one that you've fallen in love with. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and thank you for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back next week.
Thanks for spending part of your day with us here on Life, Law, and Lattes. If you found something helpful or inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe on your favorite streaming service. This helps more people find the show. Until next time, take care and keep filling your cup with knowledge.